What's going on, you guys? My name is Zach Hartley, and over the last few weeks, the cryptocurrency market has been absolutely crushed. And so I think this could represent a good opportunity to buy back in. But before we do that, I want to share with you my analysis, my due diligence, and the factors that I am considering before buying back in or adding to my cryptocurrency positions. Here is everything you need to know. Let's go. Okay, so to start us off, I should probably just tell you my Bitcoin position. I currently own a fairly decent amount of Bitcoin mining equipment, about $20,000 worth. It is currently mining and basically has put into a mining wallet $1,600 worth of Bitcoin. So I'm just gonna hold that forever. It is virgin Bitcoin and it is nice and safe. And it is basically just gonna keep mining and keep accumulating over time. I have no plans to buy or sell anything with this kind of little stash here. However, I do have about $15,000 worth of cash that is ready to deploy into cryptocurrencies. I hold it both in Wealthsimple as well as Newton, and if you're interested in signing up with Newton, you can get $25 in free crypto with the link in the description down below, and you can transfer it in or out of your account as soon as you get it, so I promise you it's well worth the time and effort. Now, when should you buy Bitcoin? When should I buy Bitcoin? That's what I'm trying to talk about in this video. And what I want to do is walk you through the two types of analysis that I am doing on Bitcoin and the different factors that come into play for each of those types of analysis. So the two types that we need to talk about here are technical analysis and fundamental analysis. I am looking at Bitcoin the same way that I look at stocks. Now, technical analysis here completely has to do with the price chart. It's basically looking at the price over time coupled with the volume and a couple other indicators to try and understand what direction this security is going in. So that is technical analysis. And then fundamental analysis is kind of looking at the background. If this was a stock, it would be looking at the financials and the management and their discussion and how the company is doing and what industry they're in. But because this is Bitcoin and it's a cryptocurrency, we're actually looking at a couple different factors that I'm going to explain to you in just a few minutes. But that is the overview for this video. Now, what we're going to start with here is technical analysis. So here is the Bitcoin price chart. Each red or black line here represents 1 day. So we are basically looking at this on a 13-month time period. And I set it to 13 months because it did a really good job of showing us the high points right here around 65 to 67,000. You can see that we double tested resistance right here once in April and again right here in November. And then this chart also does a good job of showing us the low points. You can see we tested 30,000 right here in February of 2021. And again, we tested 30,000 almost 3 times right here in June, July, and August of 2021. And now we are basically in this bearish pattern. And it looks like if we don't break out pretty soon here, we're probably going to come down and test 30,000 again. So what I am thinking as I look at this chart and what goes through my mind here is, okay, we've got a double top right here at 65,000. We've probably got a pretty significant level of resistance there. Looks like we probably have some pretty good support kicking in at 30,000. It feels like people are buying up at 30,000. You can see that the volume stepped up right here in May and June. You can also see that it stepped up right here as soon as we started to run higher in August. And basically what that's showing is that buyers are stepping in and they see value in Bitcoin at 30,000. And so my hypothesis is if the price of Bitcoin comes down to 30,000 again, I think people are going to see value in it and probably buy it up. And so I am interested in buying into Bitcoin on the bounce off of 30,000. Or if we break through this bearish trend line, as you can see, all I've done is connect the highs right here, and we basically keep stair stepping down. And so if we break out of that trend to the upside or in a bullish direction, that would also be a very strong buying signal. And so those are the two opportunities that I am looking for in Bitcoin from a technical perspective. I want to buy Bitcoin at 30,000, or I want to buy it as soon as it bounces off 30,000. Or I want to buy it as soon as it kind of breaks through this blue trend line right here. That would be an indication that the trend or the bearish trend that we're in right now has ended and it has probably changed, and that we are probably going to start a bullish trend back up to around 65,000. So those are the two things that I am looking for. Personally, I have a small feeling that we're probably going to come down to 30,000 again. However, you just never know. We could very easily see that breakout in a matter of just a few days from me filming this video. It's really could go either way. I don't think we're going to see an answer in the next 1 to 3 days, which is why I'm making this video now, and I'm trying to give you my game plan ahead of time. And so that is what I am looking at from a technical analysis perspective. Bounce bounce off 30 or break out of the trend line. Now, from a fundamental analysis perspective, this gets a little bit trickier for cryptocurrency, and some of it is opinion based. And so some of the parts that are more opinion based come down to how accepted Bitcoin is by governments and how they regulate Bitcoin. So for instance, if all of a sudden the US and the European Union and Australia and let's call it Canada all came out with very favorable regulations for Bitcoin, that would be a very, very positive thing for Bitcoin, and I can imagine that a lot of people would want to buy and hold Bitcoin. However, if all of those governments came out and said, we hate Bitcoin, we're coming out with our own cryptocurrency and it's now going to be illegal to trade Bitcoin, that means that almost all of the people that hold Bitcoin in those countries, a lot of them are probably going to sell it because they just don't want to deal with the headache, and that would be a very, very bad thing for Bitcoin. And so government acceptance and regulation is super important, but it is very subjective to your opinion. Next one here is institutional investment. So this is how much money the big players are putting into Bitcoin and buying it up. So if you are managing your own money, you're a retail investor. But if you're managing somebody else's money and you're in the kind of millions of dollars, then you would be considered an institutional investor. And they have very specific rules, requirements, and disclosures that they have to make as institutional investors. And a lot of the time it prohibits them from getting into Bitcoin, which, if that changes and institutional money gets into Bitcoin, that could be a very large influx of buying, which would drive the price higher. So that could be a great opportunity for a lot of people. Next one here is acceptance of Bitcoin for goods and services. If all of a sudden you can buy and sell services and accept and pay for services with Bitcoin, that would probably drive the acceptance up. That would mean that more and more people are probably going to want to hold Bitcoin, and that would drive the price higher. And so those different factors are all kind of subject to your opinion and how important they are and how much impact they'll have. But those are all kind of fundamental factors that you want to look at. Are governments starting to accept Bitcoin, or are they starting to go the other way? And what are the big countries starting to do it? It's a really, really big factor. Now, those are all kind of subjective points, meaning that you can't really quantify them. But what we can quantify are a couple of other points, such as the daily transactions for Bitcoin, the daily volume, meaning the value of the Bitcoin being transacted, as well as Bitcoin dominance. Now, Bitcoin dominance refers to, out of all of the different cryptocurrencies, how much of the market cap and the value of the DeFi of the cryptocurrency world is kept in Bitcoin. Because if that number is higher, that means that Bitcoin is more and more popular in the world of cryptocurrency. Obviously, a very good thing for the price. So we are going to look at these three factors right now. So the first factor here is number of transactions, and as you can see, dating back to January of 2015, it was a pretty steady run up basically all the way until 2018, middle of 2018 here. We saw a pretty big drop off here until a slow increase, and then ever since 2019, July 2019 here, it has been a very steady and slow decline. So that is definitely not a good thing. That's not something that you would like to see. I don't know how the Lightning Network plays into this. That's something I might have to dig into a little bit more. But at first glance here, not a great look. Next one here is the value of the daily transactions. And this chart is extremely volatile. However, it is definitely not going in the straight kind of steady, consistent bullish direction, which is what we would like to see. But if we can start to see some progress here, that would be a very bullish sign, meaning that if the value of the daily transactions begins to increase, that means that even if there's the same level of transactions, but they're worth more, that could mean that institutional money is starting to get in, and that could be a very positive sign for us in the long run. So I'm watching this chart very, very closely. And then lastly here is Bitcoin dominance. We're actually at the lower side of Bitcoin dominance and where it has been over the last little while. As you can see, we've been kind of hovering around 40% right here. We dropped below 40% twice here, but now we have began to run up. And I think that over the last kind of few days here, people have really started to realize that all of these small little shit coins and crap coins, they're just not going to be here in 5 or 6 years, but Bitcoin and Ethereum probably will be. And so I think people are starting to get tired of trading in and out of the crap coins, and they're starting to just buy and hold Bitcoin and Ethereum. At least that's what this chart is kind of telling me. So that is what the fundamentals look like for Bitcoin right now. As you can tell, it is kind of mixed signals here. So here's my plan. From the technical side, like I said, I'm looking for the bounce off 30 or the breakout of that bearish trend. And from the fundamental side, I would like to see the daily transactions start to increase. I would also like to see the value of those transactions start to increase. I would like to see Bitcoin dominance back above 50%. And I would like to see a greater acceptance and regulation of Bitcoin by major governments. If we start to see those trends pick up, we see some positive buying signals from the technical analysis, that's kind of when the stars align, and that's when I plan to take my position in Bitcoin. I also think that those are some of the factors that you should consider before investing into cryptocurrency. But if you are looking for a completely risk-free way to get 25% on your money, then you definitely need to check out Newton, because Newton is an amazing cryptocurrency exchange and platform where they will give you $25 just for creating an account and depositing 100, meaning that you will instantly make 25% on your money, and then you can send it to yourself in a different wallet, you can send it to your friend, you can buy crypto with it, you can do whatever you want. They have over 60 different cryptos for you to buy and sell, and they also accept $10,000 instant e-transfers if you live in Canada, which is why the main reason that I use them, because I can put in and withdraw up to $10,000 per day almost instantly, and it costs me absolutely $0, which is unlike any other platform out there. So I promise you, Newton is the best thing you can use. I actually use it. This is the platform where I store literally $10,000 out of $15,000 for crypto that I'm holding right now, and I highly recommend it. It is by far the easiest to use and one of the best crypto platforms that I have found, and I have tried like 5 or 6 of them living in Canada here, so I highly recommend them. Now, if you get any value out of this video, please remember to click that like and subscribe button. I sincerely appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next one. Good luck trading, good luck investing, and remember to check out the links down below for all of those free resources. We'll see you in the next video. Talk to you soon.